I am saying the method is very simple, clear, not easy. I agree it's not easy. Why is it not easy? If the method is so simple, both these two steps I am telling you to discover the real nature of perception, therefore the real nature of creation. We cannot have any idea of creation without perception. If the whole creation is dependent upon a faculty we have of perception, and we can discover what perception is, it's a very big thing. Where is the problem if it's only withdrawing attention inside? We created the problem over a long period of time. That's why we're making it difficult. We have created a problem by assuming, accepting that what our current experience is the only reality. That's bad enough. Just to assume forever this is the only reality, nothing else is real. Okay, you're caught. You're caught, you can't discover anything. What a big assumption you have made without any proof at all. An assumption made merely on perception without any proof, this is the only reality. But that is not bad enough. We make it worse by saying we want to get things from this reality, everything, including reality. And we begin to desire things of the outside experience. We not only desire things, we get attached to them. Do you know the only obstacle that makes meditation difficult is your desire and attachment for what is outside? What a simple statement I am making, but true. What have we done with ourself? We have wasted our time of the self in developing a relationship with an experience outside by calling it reality and getting stuck to it and arguing to ourselves, this is the only reality. Therefore, when we try to put our attention inside, attachments outside come into play. These attachments outside come running. Why do they come? Why should attachments come? Very strange but simple reason. We have a device for perception called the mind, human mind. The human mind has over time become ourself. We have identified ourselves with our mind. Why? We use it all the time for perception, and therefore we think the mind must be the self that is having perception. Perception is reality. That the only way we can have reality is through perception by the mind. Therefore, we have made a machine given to the self, an equipment given to the self to generate thinking and time and space into ourself. We have totally misidentified ourselves with an equipment installed in our consciousness. Mind is a thinking machine. It has so many limitations that if we just ponder over it, how could we be that? Mind thinks, mind reasons, mind has logic, mind tries to understand everything. And when we tell something that is not explainable, mind stops. I just gave an example. You can't see a mansion, a large mansion in zero time, zero space. Mind cannot see it. But when I said it, something you said, maybe it can be experienced. What was that? Which was that part of you which even for an instant thought, maybe that's possible somewhere? Forget about that. You all have from time to time an intuitive feeling, a gut feeling, this is going to happen. Mind has no role in that. Where is that coming from? We forget that there is something much more in us than the mind. Then it's a big blunder to identify ourselves only with the mind. But we have done it for so long, for so many lifetimes, for such a long period, that we say, I think that is me. Biggest mistake. When you do that big mistake, I think that is me, the mind has developed its own entity with our life and tries to preserve what we have given it to it. Therefore, when you want to go beyond that by meditation, the mind runs against you and brings up all the attachments, all the memories which you wouldn't even get. You've all been meditating, you know it. People tell me, oh, my mind is very bad, mind is not bad or good. It's a machine, you can make it good or bad. It's a thinking machine. It's a machine that rationalizes, uses logic. It's just a simple computer. Very efficient one though. Very effective too. But don't become a computer. Use it. Mind has not been given to us as souls, as consciousness, as our own true self, as our immortal self. Mind was never given to us to identify with it. It was given to us to use it. Use it for what? Develop experiences of time and space. Develop experiences of perception. Develop experiences of understanding. Develop experiences of enjoying. Use it when you want to. In other words, look at the main function of the mind, thinking. Think what you want to think. We don't do that. We follow our mind wants to think. And we think we are thinking. No, we are not thinking. We are following the mind. Thinking is going automatically. Mind is taking it to any place it likes. We are being diverted into something that we don't want. Why? Mind wants it. We have to learn how to separate ourselves from the mind. I tell you simple exercise to start with for that process. Close your eyes. Imaginatively imagine you are sitting quietly, not speaking anything, not saying anything. For once, sit quietly in your head, as quiet as you can be in your meditative state, as quiet in a quiet place, and close your eyes and I am not going to think anything today. The mind will still think in front of you. You will hear the words of thought. You are not thinking. You decided not to think. You are just observing, listening. When you observe and listen, you will see the mind thinking bizarre things. Never stops. First time you may get an idea, you are not the mind. A good exercise. I encourage people who want to understand that mind is not the self to perform this exercise for themselves and see mind functions as an automatic machine. It is thinking anyway. And to identify that because the mind is thinking, I am thinking, you are preventing your entry to any level of awareness beyond the mind. That's the biggest problem for going to a higher level of spirituality. I was very fortunate, I must tell you, that this great master, whose picture you see here, he told me, we can go beyond the mind, but the steps are simple. You have to realize you are not the body by experience. You have to realize even sense perceptions are merely divided perception. The real perception is coming from the mind. And you have to realize that the self is functioning as conscious being in spite of your thoughts. That thought is not you. You are using thoughts. And to do that, look at what happens in experiences, even in your body, even while you're here, which are not mental, which are not generated by the mind. What are those experiences? He listed a few experiences. I just mentioned one. Intuition, gut feeling, sudden knowing of something without thinking. It's coming from the self. It's not coming from the mind. It's coming from beyond the mind. It's coming right here. We don't have to go there to find out. It's happening here. Falling in love with a person. Instantaneous. No thought has ever occurred in that. When you fall in love, then you begin to think, is it real? Is it unreal? Can I accept it? Do I doubt it? But the love, experience of love, what is the experience of love, by the way? I have to distinguish it from attachment. Because attachment means you like something, you say, I love it. When you say, I love something, what are you aware of at that time? I love this. You are aware of I as a thing, and there is something happening between us. Duality, separation exists when you are attached. Okay, you fall in love. At that moment, what happens? Beloved is there, you forget yourself. I sometimes have said, is there anything that can take care of our ego, the I-ness? I tell you, I have researched. I-ness comes in everything. I am going to do this. I am going to destroy my ego. That's most ego. I cannot go away. I am going to meditate. I am doing this. I am going to surrender. All I, all ego. How can you do anything without ego? Nothing. You can do nothing. If you want to do something, it's always ego. What can happen if you don't want to do something? Well, you can be loved. You don't do anything. Then what happens? That's experience. For a moment, there's no I. But the mind says, what's happening? Comes in immediately. Start thinking about it. And very often kills the experience of love. When you see that love is not coming from the mind, it cannot come from the mind, intuition cannot come from the mind, these features are existing somewhere in our consciousness. Where are they existing then? They are existing in the self beyond the mind. If you want to say there is a soul, I would say these are spiritual soul events. People say, is there a way to go beyond mind, to discover not God, not Creator, the truth about our own self? Yes. Answer given for a long time is love and devotion. Love and devotion. By two words, when somebody loves you, you automatically devote it. Devotion is merely an automatic built-in response to love. Somebody loves you, you automatically feel a response. We call it devotion. That's why we use both words, love and devotion, love and devotion. That's the secret. If you want to do meditation, you must have the experience of love and devotion to go beyond the mind. Up to the mind, you can use I. Beyond the mind, no I. You have to be pulled. That is why we were talking of masters who pull you. Why? Because they are using a method, love and devotion. Perfect living masters, we call those who have gone above the mind. Why do we call them perfect living masters? Because if you examine very carefully, all imperfection comes from the mind. You stop thinking, there is no imperfection. You stop trying to understand, there is no imperfection. If you see the total picture, no imperfection. Small part, imperfect. Mind can never see the whole picture, no matter how hard you try. But something in you can see a whole picture. I'm not talking of the whole creation. I'm even taking an example of a bunch of flowers. Here are the beautiful flowers. You can see the flowers and appreciate the beauty in one instant, virtually in nanosecond. If you want to analyze where the beauty comes from, this flower or that flower or that flower, that's the mind coming in. And you fail to see the beauty that you first saw. Mind system is only analysis. Analytical system is the only system mind can employ. What is analysis? See in parts, break it. Soul goes synthesis, one picture, one grand picture. These experiences are available to us even now, the experience of love and devotion. A perfect living master is nothing more than a human being with that awareness that he can kindle a a feeling of love in us, that we can be pulled by him. What is pull? Pull is just love. That he can make us feel that we have to go to him. That's all. But then, why do he teach us meditation? If love and devotion is the only thing, in fact, somebody asked me a question in email a few days ago. Is it possible to go to our true home, Sachkhand, without meditation? My answer was very clear. Yes, we can. What is the requirement to go to our true home, to highest level, without meditation? I said, if the faith, if the love and devotion are unshakable, they are not shakable by anything, you'll go there. No meditation. But we can't have these. So therefore we use meditation. Perfect living masters, for the sake of our minds, become teachers. When somebody tells me, without doing anything you can go, mind will never accept. Now I'll tell you what to do. Step 1, step 2, 3. Oh, that makes sense to me. That is what meditation is all about. We need meditation for our mind, not for ourselves. We need love for ourselves. We need purest, real love that can pull us. We don't need too much thinking about it. That's the whole secret. There are some steps that we can deal with our mind. All the meditation is to deal with the mind. Meditation does not deal with the self at all. Meditation deals with the mind. Mind is the only obstacle to our realization, and therefore we have to deal with it. So various kinds of meditational practices have been designed to deal with the mind. Some work better for some people, some other works better. The one that he taught me, my master, worked very good for me. Some people say the other method worked better for them. I say, go ahead. It's all mind. It's not ourself. It's not spiritual. It's mental. All meditation is mental.